wanted to talk to the CEOs about their vulnerabilities, about how difficult or easy it is, about what do they do when they fail or their ideas fail, or what do they say to their teams when teams fail, and how do they prepare themselves for a new job or a new assignment. So he just said very sweetly to me, just one line. He said, "Why write when you can talk?" Okay? And that really was the inspiration for the whole idea taking off. I actually didn't know what to say, especially when it comes to inspiration, because I think I've led a very boring marketeer's life. It can't be as interesting as an advertising person's life is. But I've turned creator in the last 1 year, and I actually called her Binda while coming over. I realized she was going to be here, so I called her and I said, "Kya bolu?" So I think my last 1 year has been taken over by the podcast that I run. So I decided to share. So I was speaking to Binda and I said, should I tell them how I started and the interesting story behind it? The podcast is doing really well. So Binda said, yeah, go for it. That's a good idea. So 7th March last year, 2020, was the last flight I took before the lockdown. And keeping me company, I had gone to Delhi to attend the Economic Times Global Business Summit. And keeping me company was a gentleman called Sri Raman. He is the co-founder for Awaaz.com. For 6 months, I was sitting on a series that I had myself gone and pitched to a business magazine, saying I want to talk to the CEOs. There's an idea that I've been working on for 3 years, that I want to cover areas which are not taught in B school. I want to talk to them about their vulnerabilities. It's been my pet passion, Bobby, and especially to the point that I want to talk about the failures. There's a lot of campaigns which the marketeers released also and which haven't worked. And those are actually not documented in history. And there is a lot of learning that lies over there. But here I wanted to talk to the CEOs about their vulnerabilities, about how difficult or easy it is, about what do they do when they fail or their ideas fail, or what do they say to their teams when teams fail, and how do they prepare themselves for a new job or a new assignment. And I had even lined up the friends, CEOs that I know that who were going to talk to me. I had actually written to one of them in the month of October the previous year saying that I'm going to be doing this, you're my batchmate, you're going to be my first guest for the written column, and I hadn't gotten around to doing it. I don't know why I decided, and this is serendipity, I don't know why I decided to tell Sri about this whole thing on 7th. I said, I've been meaning to write, I haven't had the time, and now this whole virus has come. I was going to, of course, blame it on the virus. Okay, now this virus has come and I don't think it's going to take off ever. So he just said very sweetly to me, just one line. He said, why write when you can talk? Okay, and that really was the inspiration for the whole idea taking off. Also want to share with you, there are a few women in the audience today. The other pet passion that I have is women leaders and diversity. The vulnerability with which a woman approaches some of these things. I came back home and he called me up a week later. And this was my reaction to him. And this I'm borrowing from the book Lean In, and Sheryl Sandberg has written about it, that how women leaders are so unsure of themselves. After working for 25 years, I still have it, I think. So I told him, I said, did you offer this thing to me because I'm your friend? So he says, why are you asking me this question? I said, what if I'm not capable as a podcaster? Okay, and I've never done it before. I've never, been on a podcast. But he says, why are you going through this doubt? I said, no, I am. I want to understand. Do you say yes to anybody who comes to you? So he says, we'll discover that, Dipali. And so he ensured that after that, his team got after me. They literally chased me. I recorded a dummy with one of his team members who has one of his consultants who's been a CEO before. Even to my own ears, the dummy sounded pretty well. The team was extremely happy. And then they said, okay, let's start recording. So I sent requests to 5 people. All 5 people accepted. Okay, without asking me a question, without asking me where the podcast is going to be. So the first 5 people, if you listen to my podcast, the first 5 episodes are with people who just said yes to me. Okay. And I recorded the 5 episodes. So they said, ma'am, let's release now. Okay. So I said, no, I'm not sure I want to release them now. Why, Dipali? I said, because I work for IBM And this I've only recorded on the weekends, I've only recorded in the evenings. And what if I'm not able to do a weekly release? So they said, okay, we'll release the podcast without saying it's going to be a weekly episode thing. People have no idea then. It's okay, it's on our platform. People will not expect a weekly release from you. So I said, no, but I want to at least have some schedule. So I will release when I have at least 8 episodes ready. Okay, they agreed to that also. Then I wrote to a few more people who also said yes to me. I've not had a single person, after the 10th episode, it's a different story. I didn't have people who said no to me. So I recorded 8 episodes. I was still very reluctant, but they pushed me into it. I also told them I will not look at the marketing that you're doing for the podcast. I'm going to just look at it in the beginning. I have no time to do this, okay? They agreed to everything. They released the podcast. And then one of the distinct things that Awaaz does, unlike Spotify, is on Spotify as a creator, you don't come to know the details of what's happening to your podcast, the numbers, the detailing. You actually don't. I'm one of those marketers who's very into numbers and the ROI and what's happening. So out of the fear of all this, till the 17th episode, I didn't even ask them what was happening to my podcast, okay? I was so afraid. I didn't want to know. What if nobody's listening to it? What's happening? So at the 17th, why at the 17th episode? Because they called me and they said, we want to enter your podcast for some awards. I said, really? Okay, so fine. They come with the numbers to me and we enter it for the awards, and the podcast has now got about 4 or 5 awards, including me getting an award, I think in Asia Pacific for a top 25 female content creator. They tell me that the retention rate for your podcast is 51%. So I was like, first of all, I don't know what it means. Okay, it sounds too high, but never mind. First, explain to me in the world of podcasts what this means. Because most of the medium don't give this number out. They're actually one of the platforms who are very data-led. So they said this means, Dipali, for every 100 people who are listening to your podcast, 51% are completing all the episodes. Okay, so they said huge number on the loyalty side. So then I said, I don't want to find out what is the total universe set, because there may be some very few hundred people who've come to listen to it, but of course it's thousands. And then that got over, and I now reached the 27th episode, and I'm afraid to ask them again, okay, to say, what's the retention rate? This time I know what to ask. Because I said, ab to pakka gir gaya hoga, because now you have 27 episodes, even lesser number of people, will probably listen to all the episodes. To my surprise, it's 59% now. I was totally shocked. The interesting vulnerability, and of course I started and why it all happened, there are 2-3 backstories to this that I want to narrate. One is that people are also reaching out on social media and asking me when is the next episode coming. The students and the young professionals who are really the TG that they have are really loving the content. We did some interesting things to the format. One is, when most other interview podcasts in the audio space are about 45 minutes to an hour, we decided to go with 30 minutes. That was a sweet spot. That's the insight that I had, that most working professionals, and my husband runs, Sanjay here runs, they all do very good 30-minute runs, and a lot of young working professionals are doing that. So I said, let's have a episode which finishes in 30 minutes. Second is, we definitely decided to cover things about the CEOs that they had not spoken before anywhere in media. So very well-researched work, that's been done. So people are liking that. We're also borrowing from Coffee with Karan. We even do a rapid fire. Not the controversial one that he does, but interesting ones to get to what CEOs have to say. So one is on the content side and the format side, the left brain work that happens, we got it. And on the other side, I think a bit of the serendipity, not just of Shri telling me this, I look back and my mom had to say this to me. She says, when young children used to watch Chitrahar as their favorite program on television, your favorite program used to be Phool Khile Hain Gulshan Gulshan. I don't know how many of you know that program, by the way. You do, right? Yeah, that's an interview program, okay? And I looked back at it and I said, there is nothing today, even on YouTube, which I haven't seen in terms of interviews. Even the Saturday night comedies, which Rakshan loves, I don't watch the whole comedy bit. I watch the celebrity interview and then I move out of it. I said, you look back and sometimes you say from an inspiration perspective that you've been sometimes unconsciously preparing so many years for something like this. Because the one thing that actually keeps me going now, despite the fact that it's become very hectic for me and I'm missing a lot of DMAI gatherings, what keeps me going is that every time I've actually spoken to the guest, every single guest has appreciated me and the whole process that we've evolved for the fact that they had a great time, that they got to reflect on things and speak about things that they had never thought about for years. So that's a second thing. And the last thing that I want to share before questions, and I don't know how many minutes over is, that it just gives you a huge adrenaline high as a person who is certain years of age to compete with the young podcasters, because everybody thinks that these new content creation and formats are best done by the younger people. Forget even millennials, people think it's to be done by the Gen Zs. So when I get an award or when they invite me for something and I see all young, very young people over there, I get a huge adrenaline high to say, okay, we as marketeers learned some things to get our content right, format, to make a success of a program like this. And the last bit, which will interest all of you, is $0 have been spent on marketing this podcast. Absolutely $0 have been spent on marketing this podcast. Okay, so Vatsil, thank you very much. Thank you.